Can you guess what these startups have in common? From Jamshedji Tataji to Sachin Bansal from Flipkart, from founder of PhonePe to Zomato's founder Dipinder Goyal, all of them actually studied abroad या फिर they had experiences in top companies of America. So even Ritesh Agarwal had actively traveled to Silicon Valley of America to even get Thiel scholarship of $100,000 to start his OYO journey in India. So what is the competitive edge that startups in India get if they study abroad or have had experiences in abroad? Let me tell you in this video, and how with this knowledge India can build their next Harvard or Stanford. India has grown so much कि अभी फंडिंग की इतनी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. $10 billion plus funding was circulated. Even in fact, majority from Indian startup ecosystem itself in India. Even then, 30% of IIT graduates did not easily find a job. They were not even able to get placed even after going to IITs. Now first, let me tell you what things US has done right for this AI revolution. Number one, right place, right time. Because Sam Altman and Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella met coincidentally at a conference in Idaho, जहाँ पे in the stairs of the conference, Sam Altman meets Satya Nadella and pitches the potential partnership so that OpenAI can receive the funding from Microsoft. And was that really a coincidence? Because it all comes down to mindset. US में माना जाता है, if you want to meet any person, it is possible. Because when I went to actually a conference, वहाँ पे I was able to meet even the founder of Perplexity, which is like, the biggest AI search engine we all use. And this is not just possible because founders are so open-minded to meet each other in these conferences, but also because of the efforts every startup puts into networking. और obviously networking बहुत होती है बैंगलोर में, but एक रेयर ही सीन देखोगे that founders are able to meet common people. मैं जब एक बार बैंगलोर के इवेंट में गया था, founders just run after their session is over. यहाँ पे like in the US when I attended two conferences, even in Berlin I attended conferences, if you just walk near the founder, they are open to chat with you. And that was a biggest difference I felt. Number two, most important thing, that is critical thinking. इसके बारे में शायद आपने कभी सोचा भी नहीं होगा because Indian education system is designed that you are judged on how better you memorize things. आपके साइंस में मार्क्स इस कारण ज़्यादा नहीं आएंगे कि आपको ज़्यादा कॉन्सेप्ट्स आते हैं, आपके ज़्यादा इस कारण आएंगे because you have memorized as many concepts as possible and you know किस सिचुएशन में कौन सा कॉन्सेप्ट यूज होता है. You are not forced to think critically in any classroom. मैंने किसी भी क्लासरूम में critical thinking, case studies आज तक नहीं सुना till even college. But in the US, that is the fundamental way of learning in top schools like Harvard, Stanford. It is part of the education system. Even in engineering colleges in the US, you are forced to sometimes think. मैं एक top 100 के आसपास यूनिवर्सिटी में गया था, वहाँ पे भी एक क्लास थी कॉल्ड क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग दैट आई टुक ट्वाइस, जहाँ पे आप बैठ के सोशल इश्यूज, टेक इश्यूज, एवरीथिंग दैट यू कैन इमेजिन, यू थिंक अबाउट देम सो दैट आप क्रिएटिव हो rather than just copying others. Because इंडिया में अभी भी अगर आप देखो, majority of startups are some sort of tweaked model of a US successful startup. चाहे वो OYO हो, obviously OYO is very different from Airbnb, but some sort of similarities, some sort of inspirations were there. Obviously, US startups are also inspired in some ways, but they force you to think critically hard. They force you to get feedback and keep on thinking towards those creative mindset. US में भी काफी आधी से ज़्यादा movies उनकी ही movies की copy होती है. That is totally true. But at the same time, they promote critical thinking so that you know how to be creative as compared to just copying or just memorizing the root knowledge again and again. And इसका solution is being created by the India's next Harvard, as Nas Daily also said, that is none other than Scalar School of Technology. The number one problem it solves is the location, जहाँ पे coincidences like the ones I told you are possible because Scalar School of Technology is in the heart of city Bangalore. They are able to integrate that critical thinking mindset into Indian students because they are inspired by doctors. Just like doctors learn from senior doctors, उन्होंने एक model बनाया है 4-year residential model where engineering students like us will be learning from senior engineers who have worked at Meta, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and they know that skills are more transferable from senior engineers to these learning students when you are in this evolving landscape. अब यार what makes them special? Because India में तो colleges बहुत है. Because Scalar placed more students at Amazon than all IITs combined. They have one of the highest placement rate in the industry. They don't use outdated university curriculums, but they focus on outcome-based learning through cutting-edge technologies. And obviously 100% placement assistance is there. Plus on top of that, one-on-one mentorship with tech leaders, hands-on learning with real-world projects. And look at this AI-based project that they implemented and made sure students are up to date till ChatGPT and GPT-3, how AI revolutionized from transformers to GPT.
What if there exists a tool which can translate any text, any given website into your regional language in just one click?
मेरा ये संबोधन अभी AI की मदद से इसी वक्त इंग्लिश में ट्रांसलेट हो रहा है.
Last year, दोस्तों, 54,000 plus students applied for Scalar School of Technology's program and only 191 students got shortlisted. But don't worry, दोस्तों, you can start your career with confidence and apply if you have the right mindset, critical thinking mindset and curiosity, and you can possibly get in. So go ahead, start with your journey with excellence with the link in description below at Scalar. Let me tell you about American mindset. India में या all over Asia, it is considered if you are able to memorize, let's say, चाहे वो कोई religious poem हो या फिर it is, let's say, some scientific fact, they are considered intelligent. But in US, if you're like कि यार मैं क्यों याद करूँ? I have Google, I have ChatGPT. Why I memorize this? I will rather focus on thinking. Obviously, it is to an extreme. अगर आप extreme extent में से लेके जाओगे, you'll be reliant on ChatGPT or Google every single time. You will be dumb too. But at the same time, if there are some difficult things to memorize, आप उसको सिर्फ Google तक ही रखो, and important things only you try to retain that and focus on critical thinking, creativity, brainstorming, case studies, analyzing. You would be smarter. And this is the biggest skill जो colleges पे तो दूर दूर तक सिखाई नहीं जाती and people lack in, because many students जब US आते हैं एक default behavior होता है. I'm gonna check it on ChatGPT, copy it, change it, और code के variables change करना. This is a default variable. But when I was coding with my friends who are not of that mindset, they can be from anywhere, especially more of them were from America, they were like, यार मैं cheat नहीं करूँगा. I will be able to, मैं cheat नहीं करूँगा. So that cheating mindset just changed my life. It's highly unlikely to compete with us. That's what Sam Altman had said to India last year during his visit, and it is turning out to be true, because if you talk about any popular AI models, China से popular AI models हैं, from Europe there have been popular AI models, China से Baidu, Europe से Mistral AI, and even from US there are obviously ChatGPT and Google, many other AI models, but India hasn't been in anywhere in the list of top foundational AI models or LLMs, and the reason is coming down back to research infrastructure of India, because अगर आप US से compare करो, there are dedicated universities for research. Out of the 4,500 universities in the US, 7% are categorized as top research universities. China ने भी same follow किया, but in India, no. Because US may, I can tell you an example. I had shared in the video I did at Arizona State University as well. The research labs I used to be connected with had $1 billion of funding from private companies. अब इंडिया में जाते हो, there is hardly any involvement of private companies with these research institutes. Even ISC Bangalore में people struggle and they rely on government funding. Wait करते जाते हैं and somehow they think that the best idea is to quit research in India and go to somewhere else, and they reach out to professors abroad and they get immediately accepted and they get funding and support immediately. That's why many researchers want to leave India, and this is also encouraged to be stopped thanks to Scalar School of Technology, because first of all they are private and they are taking interest with you by partnering you with top tech leaders so that you don't face this problem. Number 4, being in India, you cannot just rely on universities, institutes, because currently you have access to MIT courseware, Harvard courseware. All of these are providing you up-to-date knowledge on AI. I was talking to many MIT students. Even, for example, I talked to one of the very popular student at MIT. You can imagine, podcast aane wala hai. So he also told me that he, from 2023 itself, when AI was released, he was always up to date till GPT 3.5. How transformers, because GPT is generative pre-trained transformer. It started with the release of Transformer in 2017 by Google. वहाँ से लेकर अब तक he was always up to date. So for him, grasping that knowledge was never difficult. So now it's your choice that you can go to MIT courseware, spend hours. Obviously lectures are really long. It's your choice. It's not that you cannot. Now it's your choice. आप हमेशा universities पे rely नहीं कर सकते. If you make that choice and learn on your own, put your 120% into learning on your own, and starting with one lecture, कहीं पे आप event में जाते हो, for example you go to conference if you're in Bangalore, you start with one thing that is new to you, go deep into it, go home, go deep into it. यही idea है. Every student tells कि जब भी वो MIT courseware join करते हैं, there are hundreds of things that are overwhelming. But once you cross that first barrier, आपकी एक habit सी बन जाती है that learning is part of life. Every time you see something new, you have to learn. If you have that mindset, if you try to be critical thinker this way and come up with your own ideas, practice करना अपने own ideas बहुत important है. And कई बार universities even in US not make it easy. आपको खुद ऐसा बनना पड़ता है. Only top universities like Harvard, Stanford are providing you that case study method to be encouraged in classroom, to be creative. But many times you have to do on your own as well, and that is just your mindset, not the reliance on the university.